What's up, everybody? You're here with the Fly Guy. All right, today we're going to be tying a basic woolly bugger pattern. If you're a beginning fly tyer and this is the start of your fly tying journey, this video is for you. I'm going to go through the basic steps on how to construct this pattern. I do tie this pattern slightly different than other tyers, but not much. I stick to the basics here, and I will be expanding and doing more woolly bugger variations on the channel soon. So make sure that if you have not already to subscribe, because I've got a lot of good things coming. The tying recipe for this fly will be up on my website at tfgflies.com. I have that linked below for you. And next week I will be releasing a woolly bugger cheat sheet, and a step-by-step picture tutorial tying guide will be available soon. All right, let's go ahead and tie a woolly bugger. We are going to start off tying this woolly bugger on a size 6 mustad streamer hook. We're going to put down 4 to 6 wraps of 0.015 lead wire. You can adjust this as much as you need to vary the sink rate, and I will be talking about the placement of this later on in future videos. Get that lead wire on first so you can secure it to the hook shank firmly with your thread and lay down a good thread base. For the tail, we're going to use a basic brown marabou blood quill. After selecting your feather, go ahead and clip out the tip of the marabou feather. This enables your tail to not resemble a paintbrush and have great action under the water. In order to keep your tail symmetrical, use your fingers and measure up and down the feather using the hook shank as a length guide. After securing your marabou feather to the hook, with 3 to 6 wraps, go ahead and cut the feather to the 3/4 point of the hook shank. This ensures that when you wrap your chenille down at the next step, you'll have a nice even body. After wrapping down your tail, make sure to make some under wraps underneath the marabou. You only need 1 or 2 here, and as you're doing this, lift up on all the fibers as one and wrap back towards the tail. Next, we're going to add just a little bit of crystal flash. Less is more here. I'm using copper crystal flash, and we're just going to use 1 strand on each side. Now we're going to attach our rib. I choose to use 6-pound monofilament fishing line instead of wire. This is a preference. If you'd like to go ahead and use wire, you're more than welcome. Go ahead and wrap that mono down, and the next step is to attach our chenille. For this fly, you can use traditional chenille, but I am using root beer cactus chenille for this pattern. If you're using regular chenille, you will not need to pull fibers back as you wrap. You can just go ahead and quickly wrap that body up to your tie-off point, and you're done. As far as this chenille, if you are going to use a cactus chenille, you'll need to pull back those fibers as you wrap. This is going to ensure that you get a nice even body, and it's not lumpy, and there's no spaces. Once you get up towards the front of the hook, you need to leave yourself just a little bit of room to tie in your hackles. I'm going to be using a traditional saddle hackle, like every woolly bugger pattern out there, but I'm also going to finish it off with a soft hackle, and you need space to tie this stuff in. Even if you're only using a few materials, you still need to give yourself space, because this is going to help you develop clean heads when you finish your flies. Now we're going to tie in our saddle hackle. Make sure that the saddle hackle is pointed towards the rear of the fly, so when you start wrapping, the hackles lay in the right direction. You can use your hands to wrap this saddle hackle backwards without using hackle pliers, But by using hackle pliers, you give yourself an extra set of hands at the vise. The hackle pliers I'm using here are the Loon Ergo hackle pliers. I've done a review on these. I've tied with these for years, and they're a little bit bulkier than some hackle pliers, and they have some weight. So it's nice to have that counterweight when wrapping materials, as it gives you an extra hand at the vise. So if you're using hackle pliers like I do, you can go ahead and let those pliers hang, holding the feather in place, and now you can counter wrap with your mono rib. Make sure that when you're wrapping this rib forward, you wiggle your hand back and forth slightly so that rib works its way in between fibers. If you don't do this, you'll end up trapping fibers down, and you'll look like your fly has a matted down look, which really isn't great. After tying off your rib, you'll go ahead and pull your fibers back and wrap back a little bit, and now it's time to tie in our soft hackle. The soft hackle I will wrap 3 to 5 times depending on the size of the feather that I'm using, and I tie that feather off. Go ahead and whip finish and trim any fibers as needed. If you've chosen to use a traditional fly tying thread like an A.70 denier brown tying thread, all you need to do here is whip finish and coat it with your favorite head cement, and you're done. Because I'm using a clear polyester sewing thread here, I'm going to go ahead and use a brown Sharpie permanent marker to color this thread up and then coat it with a thin UV resin. I've done a couple videos on this clear sewing thread that works very well as fly tying thread. I'll stick a link in the description for you so you can check that video out. Once you've got it even, use your UV torch, cure it up, and your bugger's done. But if you're like me, sometimes you forget to trim the back end of your feather near the rear of the fly when you wrapped your saddle hackle and trapped it down with your mono rib. So I'm going to go ahead and trim that feather off, and now my fly is officially done. And that is the simple woolly bugger in brown. This is a basic woolly bugger pattern. It's great to practice on, it's good for a multitude of species, and it gets you practicing the techniques that you need to become a good fly tyer. If you need help with some of the techniques that you saw in the video today, or you want to go just a little bit farther, feel free to book a lesson with me. I do personalized one-on-one fly tying lessons, and I'd love to help you reach your fly tying goals. A link to my lesson calendar is below. If you like this video, go ahead and hit thumbs up. And if you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to my channel for more fly fishing and fly tying videos. Thanks again for watching, everybody. Take care, and we'll catch you next time.